Alright, hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy, AJ Tripp. Welcome to the Rapid Reaction, WWE Extreme Rules. Let's go ahead and let's get started. Let's just go ahead and get right to it, because we probably had a lot to talk about, especially what went down over here at the end. We're going to start with the kickoff show as we usually do, the Intercontinental title match. It was just announced this morning, I believe. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Finn Balor. These two had one heck of a match today. On this was from Tuesday. They had it basically was a Shinsuke Nakamura, almost a Shinsuke Nakamura beatdown on Finn Balor, and they just had one tonight, and there was some good action tonight. Um, I really enjoyed how these two have so much chemistry together. Because they knew each other from Japan and everything like that. So, and man, they went out and they had a pretty good kickoff match. It even ends with a Kinshasa to the back of the head and a regular Kinshasa, and we have a new Intercontinental Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, which they look like they've decided they're going to run with Shinsuke. They've taken him out of the tag team with Rusev, so it looks like Shinsuke is going to be the holder of the Intercontinental title. I would like to see Shinsuke Intercontinental title reign that lasts until WrestleMania. I actually would like to see that. You know, and maybe we can bring back the whole low blow thing. I'd like to see them do some real good stuff with Shinsuke. So that was some good stuff. We've got next, also in the kickoff show, was the Cruiserweight Championship match. Drew Gulak versus the former champion Tony Nese. This is last month at Stomping Grounds. It was a triple threat with him and Tony Nese, Akira Tozawa, and Gulak. And Gulak beat Akira Tozawa, did not beat Tony Nese. So that's how they get around the automatic rematch here. This again was exciting. Again, the cruiserweights, they go out and they do their thing all the time. Great little story here. Kind of like how they know each other's thoughts and moves and everything like that. One time, they almost went like 2 minutes just reversing each other's stuff. So that was actually pretty interesting. The finish was the Cyclone spin from Gulak, and he beat Tony Nese, retaining the Cruiserweight Championship. So that was good for Gulak. By the way, the Intercontinental title match I had was 3.5 stars. This I had at 3.75 stars. So that was good. Excuse me. So now let's start with the main show, and surprisingly, we start with what I thought might have been the main event. Because of the Undertaker, but we get Undertaker and Roman Reigns versus Shane and Drew, the No Holds Barred tag match. Now, when this was announced, I realized why this was done. This was done so that Roman could take the heat from Drew and Seth, Drew and Shane. I got Seth on my mind, and for those of y'all who watched it, you know why. But from Drew and Shane, and then he makes the hot tag to Undertaker, and Undertaker could go, House of Fire, and he wouldn't have to, work, get a lot of build up, take a lot of damage, so to say. At least that was what I was thought. But Taker did take some damage. Taker did take some damage in this match, including the taking the elbow drop from the onto the table, and then taking the coast to coast with a garbage can from Shane, taking a guitar shot from Elias, and also taking a claymore from Drew. So he actually did take some bumps and take some and get some heat on him as well. But in the end, it turned out to be Roman and Undertaker winning the match. This was a very hot opener. The Philly crowd was hot, for this. They really were. They were into the Undertaker. They were into Roman. Let's not forget Philly. I believe when Roman came back earlier this year in January, or in February, whenever it was in Philly, I believe, when he came back. So Philly, and if you remember the 2014 Royal Rumble when Philly was just they were all over Roman, and even a couple years ago when they went back to Philly and Shinsuke won the Royal Rumble, Philly's not been a very pro Roman town, but obviously since things has changed, Roman is on their good side, and so this was a very very good hot open. I had it at 4 stars. I thought this was fantastic. Good shot. I also think maybe there's been some rumors about them wanting to do without Shane. So I think maybe one of the reasons why this went on first was they would say, okay, so if they don't want Shane, that's fine. We'll get Shane out of the way. We'll get Shane out of the way, and then even though we have Taker and Roman, and you would think that they would be deserving of, if not the main event, the semi-main, we're gonna have them go on first. But good job by all three. And here's one thing I want to say about that though. There have been some people saying that, well, we now know why the reason the match at Super Showdown sucked between him and Goldberg. But no, we don't know the reason why. There were so many mitigating factors. It was apparently 120 degrees out there. It was super hot. Goldberg's 52, Undertaker's 54. They had him wrestle. They had him wrestle for 9 minutes instead of going for half of that and just hitting the big moves. Goldberg's trying to do a leg roll up and he's cutting himself open. Going for spears in the corner. They're trying to have Goldberg do a tombstone reversal spot for some reason. So there was a lot of things that were, things like that. There were a lot of things that went wrong in there. I'm not gonna say just because Undertaker looked great here. He looked really great here. Especially for someone his age, he looked really great. But I'm not just gonna say, well, it was Goldberg's fault. The reason why the match sucked. No, we don't. There was a whole bunch of mitigating factors to it. It just sucked. But great match here tonight, 4 stars. The next match was the Raw Tag Team Champions tag title match. It was between the Revival and the Usos. And when these two teams get together, they can do some good stuff. And tonight was nonetheless. I have it down as 3 3/4 stars. I thought it was a great storytelling. The Revival can do their thing. They do tag team wrestling like no other. They do great stuff. They brought back an old school favorite of mine. Is when the babyface gets the tag, but the referee doesn't see it, so he pushed the other baby. No, don't get in the ring. I tagged. No, you didn't. I love it. That's great old school. And then you saw Scott Dawson on the corner going, he laughing, and he goes. Like it's like Michael Cole said, classic tag team wrestling. True that. Classic tag team wrestling. We need more of that. I did a video about this one time before. We need more of that kind of stuff. That old school kind of heel stuff. We need to lock in a chin lock and put the foot on the ropes. And then put the foot on the rope when the referee look over. No, I'm not doing nothing wrong. We need more of that. So and there was awesome great stuff here. We had one thing where there was a superplex, and then Scott Dawson superplex and Uso, and then Dash came off with a splash, and then the other Uso came off with a splash to break up the pin. So some great stuff between these guys. Revival wins with the Shatter Machines. They continue to hold the Raw Tag Team Champions. Tag Team titles, I should say. I'm not sure when their contract is exactly up. And I don't know if WWE is saying, well, listen, Mike and Maria, they re-signed, and you've got we got Mahal and Mojo Rawley, they re-signed, and I think somebody else re-signed, and of course Luke and Carl Anderson re-signed. So Revival's resigned. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I kind of think the Revival is gone. They are gone. I think they want to go to AEW, and they want to go around the world, you know, with the Young Bucks. I think they want to go, and they want to have the rivalry of all rivalries with the Young Bucks. So I think they are gone. Um, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens between those guys, the Revival. So I would think that when the titles get taken off of them is when they get um, closer to being um, contract being up. Next match was Cesaro and Aleister Black, and it was good to see Aleister back in the ring. First time we had seen him in the ring since it might have been the Raw after Mania. It might have been the Raw. I think that was the time the last time we saw Aleister Black was the Raw after Mania, because there were some things where Aleister was going to be on. He was going to be on Raw or something like that. But but his wife and her guy Andrade, they were going to be on Raw as well. But Charlotte didn't want this. Charlotte was like, well, wait a minute, you're taking away my boyfriend. Bring my boyfriend back here to SmackDown. And then they had to move Aleister because they're trying to keep all of the couples together on one show, so that specifically, I should say, married couples, trying to keep all of them together. So that's why they want all of them onto one show. So, and even though Charlotte and Andrade are not married, I'm sure Charlotte has major pull. Just like all of them. I think Charlotte, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, they probably have major pull um, with the company. So, and they can get whatever they want done, done. And I think that's what happened there. But he had his match with Cesaro. He's the one that knocked a couple weeks ago on SmackDown. They were doing these vignettes of having Aleister Black wanting competition, and it was Cesaro, and they had a match that people thought that of course they would have had. It was hard hitting, it was great, and Aleister Black finished with the Black Mass, maybe my favorite finishing move. So in the WWE, I just love the Black Mass. So I love the fact it comes out of nowhere and everything like that. So we'll see what Aleister Black goes in the near future, but I think they really have something with Aleister Black, and hopefully they do right by him. Next match was the SmackDown Women's Championship between Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Bayley, and it was a 2-on-1 handicap match, and it was the kind where you had to tag in, and this was surprisingly, this was surprisingly, um, well, sorry about that. I don't want to say surprisingly average because I think that's probably what they do. It was average, but I would say this. I was surprised that there was nothing fishy about it. Like like there was no Sasha Banks. There was nothing else. There was nothing. There was like no Bailey turn on Nikki. There was no Nikki turn on but no, there was no Alexa turn on Nikki. There was no Nikki turn on Alexa. Bailey just beat them clean. It was some people have been saying that Bailey should be booked like John Cena, and that's what this was. This was the John Cena storyline of him overcoming two on one odds to retain his title, to retain her title. So that's what happened. She finished it off with the elbow. So and at one point, she locked in a reverse Indian deathlock on Nikki Cross, and when Alexa Bliss came in, she flipped him over and put it in the bank statement. Somebody on Twitter put that they showed Becky Lynch doing that move to Bayley in NXT, and so they said that this was kind of her, throwing a shout out to them, to Becky and to Becky and Sasha. So maybe it was what it was, but whatever it was, it looked very sweet. The match was average. Um, I would think this should be the end of the story. The end of the story, at least when it comes to Bayley. I have to apologize, y'all. I could not go to sleep, so I stayed up a lot of the night. So that's why I'm yawning. I'm very, very tired. I'm probably gonna hit the sack a little bit earlier than normal tonight. There's nothing really happening on the Big Brother live feeds and everything like that. So once I get through with this, I'll probably do a few other things and then hit the sack early. But anyway, back to the rapid reaction. So yeah, I think this should be the last of Alexa and Nikki feuding with Bayley. Bayley now should go on. We have Charlotte Flair, so it should be Bayley and Charlotte Flair. I would think at SummerSlam it would just make the most sense. And Nikki and Alexa can still do their thing, but now they should be focusing on Raw women and maybe even the Raw women's title. So we'll see where that goes from there. Next, we had the last man standing match between Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. And boy, oh boy, this one had to go about 25 or so minutes. This may be the longest match of the night. They went all around the stadium. They were beating the hell out of each other, doing this and doing that to each other. It was some really good stuff. Both guys were great in this. And the finish was the finish was kind of they went to this spot that was obviously gimmicked in the stadium so that Braun Strowman could power slam Bobby Lashley onto basically a crash pad. Just like how what's his face could suplex Miz could suplex Shane off of a scaffold. This was just like that. It was onto a crash pad, and it was set up. And it had like a fake wall, and Braun brushed through the wall, and he won. He won the last man standing match. So, but it was fantastic. Great action all the way around. They kind of, obviously they've been building Bobby up as a beast, and Braun has been been the man. So we now have Braun winning the last man standing match, and he now moves on. There's a rumor that Heyman wants to push Braun in that top spot, and this may be why what happened, at the end tonight happened. So we'll get to that again later. But Braun Strowman is your last man standing winner at 4.25 stars. It was really, really good. Next match was the SmackDown Tag Team Title match, and it was between Heavy Machinery, Daniel Bryan and Rowan, the champions, and the New Day, Big E and Xavier. And again, this was good. Heavy Machinery once again are showing they had the chops to step up. So really good, 2 back-to-back good performances on pay-per-view from these guys. We know the New Day can do. Daniel Bryan and Rowan with Brendan Ryan is very good. He's very good as like the big monster, and his moves are hard hitting and they're powerful. The Iron Claw Slam is a good one. It is something that I think is can be effective. So, but this match was really, really good. Some good action between these guys. I will say that a couple years ago they toyed with the idea of having in these type of matches and having a man from each team in the ring at the same time. And I actually thought that made sense. And they did a match where I think it was the Usos, it was the New Day, it was Benjamin and Gable, and it was somebody else. That they did like and have a 4-way. Um, and it was I thought it was really good, and I thought it worked. So I would like to see them go back to that. Go back to that where in this type of thing was a triple threat match to have all to have a member of each team in the ring at the same have so that it's not the crazy stuff where you have something where you know Big E is off and Xavier Woods is now he has to tag another member so that he can get his rest. That sometimes that can be kind of silly and convoluted. So I like to see them go back to that. Um, but yeah, this one was really. I thought this one was really good. I love the fact that at one point he had Daniel Bryan had Woods in the surfboard, and he was grabbing his face, and you hear him say, "What'd you say, ref? Oh no, there's no DQ, no." So he grabbed harder and pulled harder. I love that. He has become a devastating heel. He really has, and so it really is good to see. Um, so the New Day won. It finished with Bryan doing the yes kicks and Big E kind of hooked up. Couple slaps. I think on one of the slaps, Bryan may have got something on his fingernail and got his fingernail caught. Big E started to bleed a little bit from the head. And it looked good. And they finished off at the midnight hour, and we had new tag team champions, the New Day, 6 time, and it was really good. I thought it was really good. I gave it 4.25 stars. It's really good. Once again, like I said earlier, Heavy Machinery, they showed that they had the chops to hang with these guys. And of course, New Day can do what they do, and Daniel Bryan and Rowan, they do they did what they can do as well. Now, I would like to see maybe Daniel Bryan and Rowan kind of go back to maybe the singles feud, and maybe why not have Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns now go at it? Why not, right? I think that would be an interesting way to go, right, for SummerSlam. I think that could be a really interesting feud. So yeah, I like to see them go that way. If they want to keep Daniel and Rowan in the tag scene, I'm not going to cry about it or be upset about it. But I would like to see Daniel Bryan maybe now go back to being a singles competitor and having Rowan as his heavy. Um, by the way, so they went backstage to Gorilla. The New Day was celebrating all 3 members. Paul Heyman took the microphone from Caleb Braxton, went out and talked about he's being Philadelphia and he is extreme and extreme rules. He was telling you that it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. Brock Lesnar will cash his Money in the Bank contract on the WWE or Universal Champion. And he talked about, now, am I telling the truth or am I Paul Heyman? And he flipped the mic and he went off. So, you know, you're thinking once again, is Paul Heyman just doing this just to play mind games with Kofi and Seth? So yeah. Then we had the U.S. title match between AJ Styles and Ricochet, and these two can go, as we've seen the last 3 weeks on Raw. These two can go, and surprisingly, AJ Styles won. Now, on the surface, you may say, well, wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. Why when you just put the title on Ricochet? Why would you take it off? Why would you take it off and put it on AJ? Well, I think there's 2 reasons for this. One, Paul Heyman's big on Ricochet, and I think Paul Heyman wants Ricochet and Braun Strowman to be at least this is what has been reported. He wants those two to be the 2 top baby faces on Monday Night Raw. Um, so maybe he's taking the title off of Ricochet to put Ricochet into the Universal title picture. That could be it. And then there's also this other thing that says that, well, maybe, everything got screwed up with the whole Rey Mysterio injury and everything like that. So maybe this is the way to get the title back onto Rey Mysterio. Now that he's back from injury, and you have to have it on. And even though the good guy versus good guy respect thing it always could work, and I'm sure that Ricochet and Ray would have a fantastic match. It's probably better to have Ricochet. It's probably better to have heel AJ versus babyface Ray if that's the way they're gonna go about it. I'm not sure. Everything could change now since it's reported that Paul Heyman will have full control over Monday Night Raw Monday tomorrow, and Eric Bischoff will have full control over SmackDown on Tuesday. So with this new era now starting, who knows what's going to happen? Anything that's been rumored or reported could easily go down the toilet. So, but again, it was a great match. A couple callbacks to their other match with the Styles Clash from the top and everything like that. Really, really good. Love the club. Um, then we had KO and Dolph Ziggler. This was another match that was announced either yesterday or early today. Kevin Owens was going to face Dolph Ziggler, and this was not even really a match. This was just an angle. KO came out there. He got slapped by Dolph Ziggler. He gave him the stunner. He pinned him. Then he got on the mic and he cut a promo on Shane McMahon. Um, and again, the rumor is that this thing between Shane and Kevin Owens is a way to get Shane off of TV. Like Vince is saying, okay, you're right. Okay, fans, you're right. Brady Murphy hasn't had a match on television since he was promoted from 205 to SmackDown, but Shane has been on 2 or 3 segments, a night on SmackDown, and then he's also on 2 or 3 segments on Raw. So there's been some rumors about that. Again, with the whole Bischoff and everything like that, we will see what they decide to do. But this was just an angle. And as for, what does this mean for Dolph Ziggler? This could mean anything. All of us, I think, are surprised that Dolph Ziggler has stayed as long as he had. We thought that this was just that the Dolph Ziggler stuff was just for that, those 3 or 4 weeks, so that because Kevin Owens didn't want to go to Jeddah because he wanted to support Sami Zayn. So they thought they just brought in Dolph Ziggler to work with Kofi at Super Showdown, and then they thought, well, wait a minute, we just can't have him bring him in for just this, especially the way they brought him in with that great, wonderful beatdown he put on Kofi. So then they decided to do the steel cage match and everything like that. And so many people thought, okay, so after the steel cage match, he would be gone. But he's been stuck around, so maybe he might be gone now. I don't know. There was this one time on Twitter where they asked him a fan asked him, was he gone? And he said, well, other than the live shows and the live events and the pay-per-views and the media appearances, yeah, I'm pretty much done. So who knows what happens with Dolph Ziggler? But I will say that I wouldn't mind him staying. I also wouldn't mind if he left as well. So I'm iffy on that. No star rating, like I said, it was an angle. Then we had the WWE Championship match between Kofi Kingston and Samoa Joe. And this one it didn't click. Both are good performers, and and they were trying some stuff, but they just didn't have the chemistry tonight. Now again, there's another rumor that Kofi has been injured. That's why he only cut a promo on SmackDown. There wasn't no in-ring segment or anything like that. He cut a promo, Joe cut a promo. So he's working with an injury. So maybe that's what happened to him. He was injured. So they couldn't go all out the way they wanted to. But again, maybe what's up, Chill family? But then again, maybe they just they just didn't click. So it is what it is. It's still entertaining. I had it at 2 3/4 stars. That's average. You know, it was what it was. Kofi hit the Trouble in Paradise. There was no really big thing, and he won. So good for him. And we'll see. We'll see what happens now with Kofi. Where does Kofi go next? You know, maybe Kofi and Daniel Bryan happens again. You know, I talked about Daniel Bryan being going to Roman, but maybe Bryan goes back to Kofi like he was supposed to. He was supposed to, feud with Kofi for 2 or 3 months. You know, but they were worried about his concussion syndrome, so they had to do the whole Kevin Owens thing. You're so happy about Brock Lesnar. He's your all-time favorite. I'm sure that you might be the only one that's really happy. There's a lot of people who are upset. I was checking Twitter during the show, especially during that end, and so and what Chill family is talking about is the main event was the winner take all match between Baron Corbin and what's her face Lacey Evans versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. And there was this weird thing when Lacey came out and she got into the ring, the camera zoomed in on her butt. Now I'm sitting there. I know I'm like, this is not what they do now. They don't do this nowadays. They don't zoom in on the but you can even hear Renee Young said "Jeez," and Corey Graves said "Jesus right." But I guess they were trying to show us that she had Seth on the back of her trunks. So, but we didn't see Seth. We saw straight booty. That's what we saw. We saw straight booty. That part was hot. Yes, it was. She is a very attractive woman. Lacey Evans is. So yeah, and this match I thought was pretty good. It kind of started off slow, but it picked up once they started going to the. And here's the thing, and this is also one of the things that got me about the opening match between Taker and Roman. The Taker and Roman versus Shane and Drew match was a no holds barred match. This winner take all match was an Extreme Rules match, except it was a tag. You had to actually tag. I don't get that. If you're gonna make a tag match like that, like a no holds barred match or something like that, some kind of no DQ, no count out type of match, then it shouldn't be tags. It shouldn't have to be tags. It should be like a tornado tag match where there is no tags. Now I know this is a thing where this is a mixed tag match, and the men have to fight the men, and the women have to fight the women. And we'll get to that part. We'll get to that part in a second, right? But still, that doesn't make no sense. If it's a no holds barred match or an Extreme Rules match, there shouldn't have to be no tags. Anyway, the weapons got involved, and they started to do the weapons and everything like that. I will say this: I really do hate the way they've treated they've treated Lacey Evans. They have Becky Lynch just like beat her ass at every single point. She doesn't even get like she's got the upper hand on Becky, maybe 3 times. 4 if you count the contract signing with Charlotte. Maybe 4 times. But otherwise, Becky Lynch has always beat the living hell out of her. And I just don't get that. And why are you having her in these main event programs? So I just don't know. But this match I thought was good, and I thought it was good. It ended with Baron Corbin hitting the end of days on Becky Lynch. Seth Rollins saw that, He got pissed. He went after Baron Corbin with the kendo sticks, with steel chairs, and he gave him 3 curve stomps for the victory. And while Seth Rollins was going to check on Becky Lynch, we heard the Brock Lesnar came out there, and like Chill Family said, Brock Lesnar came down. He gave Seth a couple of German suplexes. He cashed in the Money in the Bank contract. He hit the F5. 1, 2, 3. Brock Lesnar is your new Universal Champion. So, yeah, there it was. Brock Lesnar, the new Universal Champion. So now, I don't know where this goes. I don't know if it's Rollins and Lesnar at SummerSlam. I don't know if they're going to try to, if they, like I said earlier, if they're going to go the Ricochet route, they're going to go the Braun Strowman route. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but this has now become very, very interesting. The new era of WWE is happening, starting tomorrow, apparently. So we'll see where all of this goes and see what happens. So I think this was enticing. All in all, the match I gave was a 3 and a 3.25 star. Again, that was a good match. The cash in it just was what it was. It was the cash in. But I actually thought it was actually really, really interesting. So, but that's it. On the whole, I thought this was, I thought this was really, really good. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Baron Corbin, he called Seth Rollins a beast. Yeah, I thought. I knew he was saying something. I'm not sure exactly what he said, but I knew he was saying something to Seth Rollins. But I knew Seth Rollins just went crazy. So, but yeah, I thought that's very interesting. How they did it, what the timing that they did it, exactly what are they doing. So again, this all sets up the biggest night of the summer, SummerSlam, next month. So we talked about it. Will it be Lesnar and Rollins? Will it be Lesnar and Strowman? Will it be Lesnar and Ricochet? Or is it going to be something else? Is Lesnar even going to show up for SummerSlam? And what we have over the WWE for the WWE Championship, is it going to be Daniel Bryan? Is it going to be somebody else? Is it going to be Roman? Who is it going to be? We got a lot of questions that are going to be answered, hopefully in these next few weeks. And yeah, he said, he sure did. He said, "What are you going to do about it, you piece of shit?" Yeah. I did read that. He said, "What are you going to do about it?" So, yeah, very good, very good. So we got a lot of things happening. We've got a new Intercontinental Champion in Shinsuke Nakamura. We got a new United States Champion in AJ Styles. We got a new Universal Champion in Brock Lesnar. We got new SmackDown Tag Champions in the New Day. Woo! So, all in all, this what we're going into is going to be fantastic. You know what? Thanks, Chill Family. I certainly appreciate it. Thanks so much for subbing. I do appreciate it. And if anybody out there else wants to sub, make sure you do that. Hit the subscribe button. I'm here after every WWE pay-per-view and after every NXT pay-per-view. Next month, from Toronto, NXT TakeOver and SummerSlam. Gonna do my reactions after that. Every Friday, that's a shoot. That's my weekly wrestling show where I talk about the good that that happens, the bad things that happen. I call that put over and buried. And then there's a main topic. There was not one this week because I had other things going on that I had to take care of, and I couldn't record it in time. unfortunately. But I will hopefully come back next week with a That's a Shoot every Friday. So make sure you are here. No, I don't mind a Brock Lesnar fan. No, I don't. It's totally fine. You're more than welcome to like who you like and be a fan of who you are. I think that's what this whole thing is about, right? You can like who you like and you can not like who you like, and I don't think you need to have to be so angry about it. I just see a lot of anger now in wrestling Twitter. I've been saying this for weeks that the anger that I have seen towards WWE I just didn't like it, and that's why I was so gung ho happy that Seth Rollins was standing up for WWE. Because I think that he should. 'Cause I do think that WWE is the best right now. I don't think New Japan is that great. I don't. And to be honest with you, I have not seen a full match or anything like that. I've seen bits and pieces here on Access TV and things like that, but I have no interest, especially when I see things like them doing German suplexes on the aprons. I mean, there's no need for that. There's no need for that. So, who's my favorite wrestler? Of all time, my favorite. Well, see, that. Ooh. So I'm gonna say of all time, I think my favorite wrestler was The Rock. I think it's The Rock. Of all time, it's The Rock. Um, I'm a big, huge Rock fan. I um, grew up in the '80s, and when I got to the '90s, that was my teenage years, and The Rock was a big part of that. So I think The Rock was being my favorite wrestler. Um, my favorite wrestler now, I don't know. I like Roman Reigns. I've always liked Roman Reigns. I'm a I'm a definitely a total Roman Reigns defender. I'm a total Roman Reigns defender. Um, but I do like a lot of them. But I do think probably Roman is my favorite. I do think Roman is my favorite. And I would say so. I say all time it's The Rock. Right now it's Roman Reigns. So yeah. So yeah, all in all, I thought this pay per view was really really good. I thought we had three matches over 4 stars. We had a lot of three high 3.5 star matches, and we was thoroughly entertained. There was not one suck ass match on the card. So this was, I think, the Extreme Rules, you could say, was a thumbs up. I'm honestly waiting for on Bray Wyatt. I wonder when he will be back. Um, there was something where they said that he had made his debut like July. He made his WWE debut July 15th. I think they said 2010 or 2011, something like that. So, guess what tomorrow is? July 15th. So, you know, with this new character he's been bringing a lot of stuff from the past and bringing it forward. So, I think that even though there were some rumors that he was supposed to debut a few weeks ago, but they just, they decided to hold off on it. Um, This, if that is true, and he debuted on a Monday, July 15th, several years ago, then I think it would be all encompassing to have him come back July 15th of this year. So, yeah, listen, I'm really iffy on his character. You know, all of his things, all of his vignettes that he did, his fun houses. I could have took them or leave them for most of them. The one I did like was the Muscle Man dance. That one was epic. I loved that one. But the other ones were just so I want to see how they're gonna translate that into the ring and onto TV when it comes to Bray Wyatt. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for tonight. Once again, Extreme Rules really good tonight, and tomorrow starts the new era of WWE. Can't wait to watch it. Again, that's a shoot back Friday. And so yeah, make sure you are there for that. Click the notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on any videos when I go live or anything like that. Also, next Rapid Reaction will be the Rapid Reaction to NXT Takeover Toronto next month, and of course the next night SummerSlam. All right, thanks to the Chill family for coming by and chatting with me, and also subscribing. I really appreciate it. To those of y'all who are watching this at a later time, post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys thought were the best matches of the night. Tell me what you guys thought were what was this and that. What you thought about the entire show, and of course, let me know what you thought about the Brock Lesnar cash in. I know I seen on Twitter. I know what some of y'all think. Let me know down in the comments section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJ Tripp signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. I am out.